Welcome back to my latest market vlog. So this weekend just gone, I did the St Andrews Market on Saturday and the Camperwell Market on Sunday. Both turned out very differently to how I anticipated them turning out, but yeah, watch, and then at the end of this vlog I'll share all the figures, exactly how much I sold, exactly how much I spent, if I do either of these markets again, or if I think that's enough. Do you believe it's market vlog time again? So I only did a market last weekend. I don't normally do markets 2 weekends in a row, but I'm really needing to up my cash flow because I've got still quite a bit of my life in style to pay for. So I found, a friend told me about St Andrews Market, which is north of Melbourne, and you basically just rock up on the day, first thing in the morning, like 7 o'clock in the morning, put your name down, and then you get allocated a site. It's $25. It's been going for 50 years. It's supposed to be really cool, so I'm going to give it a go. And then on Sunday, I managed to get a last minute booking for Camperwell Market. Now that is more trash and treasure, vintage, that sort of thing. But some people do sell their handmade wares. So I'm actually going to take a mix of both because I've got a heap of vintage stuff that I want to get rid of that I was selling on Marketplace. I was actually originally purchasing because I was going to have a stall somewhere which was vintage. And I still have some leftover things from when I was in Dramana Vintage Bazaar over summer. So we're going double days, 2 different markets. I'm going to stay at my mum's place for the weekend. She's much closer to these areas than I am, and she could also look after my little doggy. We've got the 3 size tables. So I've got the really long one, which is 2.4 meters, the standard trestle, which is 1.8, and the little one, which is, I don't know, 1.2. I'm only taking my 2.4 meter marquee because I'm just trying to keep it easy for myself. I'm a little stressed because I've got so much more stuff to pack than I normally would because I'm doing vintage and pre-loved stuff on Sunday as well. So I'm just sort of trying to be organized. I packed a lot of my little vintage things into this suitcase, but I also have a couple of just like baskets. I'm going to take these flowers, which I had purchased to sell, but they're not selling very well. So the ex-display ones, I'm not sure whether they will pass as pre-loved because both of these markets say it can't be like made products. It has to be either handcrafted or pre-loved. So I'll see how I go with those. I've also just got to pack some of my vases, stealing stock from my Finders Keepers prep, but that's okay. And I've got some more like vintage things that I did have on Marketplace, which I'm going to take as much as I can. It'll be good just to get rid of a heap of the vintagey and pre-loved stuff because I just need the space. I need the shelf space for the rest of my pottery for Finders Keepers, and I've got lots coming back out of the kiln next week. I've got heaps more to go in, so I'm sort of just trying to make as much space as I possibly can. The girl is so full I had to put the extra extender out. She's heavy too. It's kind of hard to get my head around packing for this weekend because not only am I doing my handmade Rondelle Designs stuff, I'm doing vintage and pre-loved, so I've got to make sure I don't forget anything. I'm going to redo a market checklist for myself soon, and I'll probably make a more generic version that people can download off my website as well because it's super handy. But yeah, I've still got a few things to go. So I've just kind of parked everything near the front entry to make sure I put everything in order. Because when you're loading for a market and you've got lots of stuff, it really is all about placement, what you're putting in first, what you're putting in last. Once again, I am going to take my 2 bags of little originals. Because I've got extra tables for this weekend, I will be able to put them out. Especially, I'm thinking they might have a chance to sell tomorrow at the St Andrews Market because it is a bit more artsy. It's been going for 50 years. It looks very artistic. So we'll just take them and see how they go. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna get this bunch of flowers in. And to be honest, I'm kind of worried that I'll get in trouble for having these because I'm not making them. I'm just buying them in. So I think I'm just gonna have to leave them here. And then I guess once I've done it, these 2 markets the first time, I can reassess whether it's worth trying next time. I do have those flowers on Marketplace, so hopefully someone will want to buy the whole lot over the weekend, and if someone's here they can give them to them or they can come next week. Okay, heading home now. The car is loaded I've just got to then add my chair, which I'm not going to forget this week. And then I've got some vintage clothes I'm thinking about taking for Sunday for the Camperwell Market. I think I'll fit them in the boot. I reckon I can actually even just switch the clothes up on top of the suitcases because they're not going to hurt me if they fall. I've got one more bag of little vintage vases at home that I'll just put where that bag is currently sitting, and I'll use that bag to fill up my vintage clothes. Got the FPOS machine, got some cardboard to do signs, more for Sunday for the pre-love stuff, and some masking tape. Actually, that just gave me an idea for a video. I might do a video just for people who are wanting to get into markets on your market kit, what you should bring to your market, because I used to have a tub that just always was full of everything that I needed. I've got a little box that's got most of the things I need now, but it's missing the thing. Like if I had forgotten that masking tape, I would have had no masking tape. So I'm going to do that as a little video, just so it'll be a short one, but just all the essentials that you need for a market. At St Andrews, the little sign-in sheet's really easy to find. It's just on a little table under the main hut type thing. And you literally put your docket once you've paid on a rock. Okay, reporting for duty at St Andrews Market. I look like a tomato because although it is freezing, I've just been setting up my stall and I'm really like steaming because my body's getting hot inside but it's still freezing outside. It was an interesting process. We had to wait till 8 and then get allocated a stall, and then you have to unload your car and move your car. However, there was someone blocking the exit for me, so I had to just start setting up, and then I've just done it then. Cool vibes here already. I'm excited. So I set up all my handmade products on the left side, and then I kept the pre-love stuff quite separate on its own table. Okay, it's 10 o'clock. It literally took me 2 hours to set up. Normally it takes me an hour. It's because I have a whole table of like vintage and pre-love stuff as well. So it was a bit of a full on. I have just been doing one table at my markets, and to do 3, that was a big upgrade. But we're set up now. It's a beautiful day. It's cold, but it's really gorgeous. So apparently this market gets busy about 11:30. So we'll see how we go. 11:30 update. I'm up to $99 in sales. I've sold heaps of little pre-loved things off the pre-love table, and I'm probably doing things a bit cheap, but that's what I do with pre-loved. And I've got to remember I'm doing Camperwell tomorrow, so I need to pace myself with the bargains. Such a vibe here. We've got a folk band that way, a flute player that way. I could fall asleep. I'm so relaxed. Hey, it's just after 1 and this closes at 2, so we're in the last hour. I've only sold $120, which is not good, but I've sold a lot of my pre-love stuff, so that's cool. I didn't pack my food today. I'm a naughty girl. I have spent $29 on food, and I spent $25 to get in. So far we're only up $70. So I wonder, it'd be great if the last hour was like Lost Woods last week where I had this manic rush, but I don't think it's gonna happen here. It's a bit quiet, so we'll see. Hopefully I can sell a bit more of the pre-love stuff, or anything really, because I'm doing Camperwell tomorrow, so that'll be a lot busier. Yeah, so far not great sales, but it's a nice day out. I haven't tried this one before. I'd really like to at least get to 200 though. If I hadn't have spent $30 on food, I'd be feeling a bit happier right now. But I do have a full belly of yummy, delicious food, so that's good. I've just got to remember to bring my own food, because yeah, it really eats into your sales money when you don't bring food. I've got my water, but it's got hydrolyte tablets in there, because I find I drink a lot of water at markets, but when I have the hydrolyte tablets I don't need to drink so much. Okay, we're down to the last 20 minutes. I've sold $126, mostly the little pre-love stuff. I hate packing up. We're nearly there. Hopefully I can make a few more sales so I don't have as much to pack up, literally for that reason only. And I'm craving donuts again like I did at the end of last market, but they've got really nice donuts here. Do I want to spend another $10 of my money on food? Probably not. So I've sold quite a few vintagey pieces and I've literally sold everything so cheap. I really should have sold a bit more, but that's charged a bit more, but that's okay. At least I've still got a few cute things for tomorrow at Camberwell, the Dr. Martin boots. And I sold a $30 pot similar to that, a little $15 strawberry bars. I've sold a whale, a fairy house, and some stickers. Oh, and 2 greeting cards, those 2. Okay, it's like 10:30 Saturday night. I got back from the market today, back to my mum's because I'm staying at my mum's for the weekend because her house is way closer to these markets that I'm doing. It was still an hour's drive. So I came back and had a massive nap, basically straight away. It took me an hour to pack up my store, which normally it takes half an hour. But because I had all those extra trinkety things and the way I just shoved stuff in my car because I was so trying to rush, I hope I haven't broken anything. So anyway, I had a big nap, but I'm tired, so I'm going to bed now. I ended up selling $130 today. So the store was only $25. So $130 is not like the worst, but it's not great. So I don't think I'll do this market again. I'll do at the end of this vlog, I'll go through exactly what I spent and exactly how much I ended up with. It would probably be a bit busier, obviously, in spring or summer. But yeah, I don't think I'll come back to this one. If it was closer, I might give it another go when it's like a bit warmer, when there's more people around. Because it had really good vibes. It was almost like a really mini Emu Plains market. And I do like that you can just rock up on the day. You don't have to pre-book. So you put your name down. You've seen all that. I've got that. So tomorrow morning, it says you have to be set up by 7 for Camperwell, but I think I've said before, I like to get to markets really early. I hate trying to squeeze my car in when there's already most stalls set up because it's stressful. So I'm going to wake up at 4:30. I'm going to leave at 5, leave my mum's. It's half an hour from Camperwell Market, and get there right on 5:30, which is when you can start setting up. So then hopefully I'll be one of the first people there. I can set up. I'm going to hire a clothes rack because I've got a heap of secondhand clothes that I'm taking. And then, get it all set up and hopefully we have a good day. I'm just excited to be doing Camperwell. I was thinking when I booked these 2 markets, I wasn't going to set a target for sales, but then I thought, no, set a target. Let's try and make a grand. I only made $130 today, so that would mean I need to make $870 tomorrow, which I know everyone I know who's done Camperwell as a once-off to get rid of heaps of their pre-loved stuff have done over $1,000, no worries. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've got that much like good vintage stuff to do that. I have got all of my handmade stuff, so I don't know how that will go though at this market. I'm going to do the same as what I did yesterday. I'm going to have one side, 2 tables with my handmade stuff and then 1 table with the pre-loved stuff, and then I'll have the clothing rack as well. So, I mean, has got the potential to do $870. Let's aim for that. Let's try and get 4 figures for this weekend in sales. And then, I think it'd still be fine if I make like 500, but let's aim for the 4 figures. Okay, I hope I can get to sleep tonight because I'm only going to have like 6 hours sleep anyway. Okay, it's 6 a.m. I've arrived at Camperwell Market. I thought with the stalls that you had enough room to park and just put your stuff out, but for the amount of tables and stuff I've got, there really wasn't enough room, so I've quickly unloaded, got my clothing rack that I'm hiring, I literally have no cash left. I completely forgot to get extra cash out. So that's fun. I'm just going to make everyone pay by card to start, or they'll have to have the right change. So now I'm rushing back to get set up because people are already here with torches looking at stuff. So I need to get set up. I'll set the pre-love stuff up first. Hopefully no one stole my docs. I hid them under my stuff. Yeah, then we'll be ready to go. I got here pretty early. I was one of the first people. Now this video does not do it justice, but the hot air balloons were going right above us and it just looked so magical and beautiful. Okay, it's 7:30. I'm just about set up. Doing the handmade again and the pre-love takes so much longer. I've sold a few things already, obviously just the pre-loved stuff. So just putting my signs up and then we'll be ready to go. And then I need coffee and donuts. And this lovely lady, Georgina, has been watching my YouTube channel, so I'm so excited. So
beautiful colours.
So this will be coming out next week and you'll be in it. Yay! For all of my in-person markets and events, I have this little sales book where I just manually write my sales for the day. It's a bit old school, but it works well for me, and then I can go back to it really easily and see what events I made what amount of money and the dates, and sort of get an average of what sort of items I was selling. And I also separate the cash in the card and do a running total.
And I used to forget. Yeah. All right.
So it's just after 8:30. So far I've sold $59, which has been a mix of my pre-loved and my Rondelle Designs stuff. Thank you. My friend Kate from the Utility Code does Camperwell every weekend, and one of the other stall holders, Carol, brings her a homemade lunch every single week. It's just after 9 o'clock and I've cracked 200 in sales already. I'm actually really surprised. I didn't think my handmade stuff would be selling as well as it is, especially early, because usually people come early for like the treasure hunters, like I would, for vintage and pre-loved. But I've actually sold quite a few cards and stickers and some little pottery pieces as well. And I'm so excited. I think I've sold 4 of these. I've reduced them so cheap. They're $10 each. I was selling them for $50, but I just haven't been selling them, and they're ceramic, so they're quite heavy to take to market. So I'm kind of just done with them. So I'm very excited that I've sold 4 of those already. So it's 11:30. I've sold $380 so far, which is great. It's a mix of both my handmade stuff and my pre-loved stuff. I look ridiculous because I've had my beanie on all morning. So I'm having a little snack. I stayed at my mum's last night. She was like, pack food so you don't spend all your money on food. And I did. So I haven't spent any money on food yet, just one coffee. Just under an hour to go and it's still quite busy. So interesting to see what brings in the last hour. That's a Utility Co across the road from me. Kate's hiding because she doesn't want to be in my vlog. It's now 12 o'clock and I'm up to 4:30, I think. I'm literally shocked that these 2 vintage dresses are still here. They're $10 each. They're so beautiful. Why are they still here? Okay, it's Monday morning. I did not get back to my studio last night or yesterday afternoon to unload my car after Camperwell. I was so tired. I was going to drop my dog off home and then come straight here and unload. So it's done, but I was so tired driving home from my mum's house. She's in Endeavour Hill, so it's like 50-minute drive back to my house, and I was just like barely awake. So I thought, nah, just have a sleep. So I had a massive sleep yesterday afternoon. And then woke up like 7 or 8 o'clock or something and made a few pottery pieces because I'm getting behind again with my pottery production for Finders Keepers. And then I've just woken up at like 6 o'clock to come here and unload this morning because I just want it done in case I don't want to have to be stuffing around during my day. I've got a couple of meetings today, so I want to get the car unloaded, my studio back looking decent before my meetings start at 9:30. So remember how organised I was packing the car? Because we had to get out of Camperwell within like half an hour yesterday, I just shoved everything in here. I barely fit everything in the car. It's really bad. So I now have to very carefully unload this, and everything's just shoved, so it's going to be interesting. Interesting observation about myself. If you've watched my other videos, you'll know I get a bit scared when it's nighttime here, but even though it's pitch black and no one's around, it's 6:30 in the morning, so I'm like, it's fine, it's morning. Okay, I've almost got everything in. I'm just bringing everything into the main area and then I'll take it to my studio. I tell you what, all engines are not firing this morning at full capacity at all. I'm just like so tired, exhausted. What is it about? I think because before an event, you've got so much energy because there's the eager anticipation of how the event's going to go and all the possibilities. Whereas after the event, you know how it went, whether it's good or bad. I find I feel the same post-event, regardless of what market or event I've done, even if I've had an amazing time. Because you're just drained mentally and physically, and then you've got to pack up. It's just unacceptable. I need a person to come and pack up for me. Nearly there though. Okay, that took me half an hour to unload my car, which is way longer than it should. I usually take about 10 minutes, and I haven't packed stuff away or anything. I packed my tables away and the marquee. But have a look at the state of this studio. Absolute pigsty. So I'm really going to need to get in here and clean this today. And I'm looking forward to doing the market wrap up. Okay, it's time for the market vlog wrap up. So on the weekend, I did St Andrews Market on the Saturday, and then I did the Camperwell Market on the Sunday. The sales totals, I've got one page just for St Andrews, didn't sell a lot there. And Camperwell was that whole page plus nearly 2 pages. So, and in the pink highlighted is pre-loved. As you can see, St Andrews are actually mostly sold pre-loved, which was surprising to me. I actually wonder, had I just had a pre-loved stall, if I would have done better. So I don't know, maybe when it's spring or summer, I might give that one another go if I've got nothing to do on the weekend. So pros and cons for St Andrews. Pros, really friendly crowd. All the stall holders were really lovely. It was just great atmosphere, very chill. Reminded me of a mini Emu Plains. We had a flute person playing down that end. We had like a folk band down that end. Only cost $25. You rock up, you put your name on the list. They wait until 8 o'clock to call your name. I got there at 7, but I just had to wait. There was no letting people set up early unless you were already a regular person who's booked in permanently. But it was quite a slow day. So it cost me $25 for the stall. I spent $29 on food. So I spent $54 total, and I only made $126, which is pretty low for a market. So I actually took home $72, and that's it, not even including cost of materials for my handmade stuff. Obviously with my pre-loved, I'm not including cost of materials because it's stuff I just had already. I'm not buying to sell. I just had it. I just had a clean out. So that's, yeah, $72 for a big long 1 hour drive plus hours sitting there. Probably not worth it, but I'm glad I've done it now. And then Sunday, Camperwell Market. First of all, I'm so glad. What I was originally going to do with Camperwell is just show up on the morning and get in line, and you have to go and put your name down for a stall that's re-let. So if someone who's booked a stall hasn't shown up by, I think it's 7 o'clock, they re-let the stalls. Now, by this time, most of the stall holders are there. So the cars that did that had to like try and squeeze in between everyone's stall. I would have had a nervous breakdown if I had to do that. So thankfully, I kept looking on this Camperwell Market app in the week leading up to the market, and I missed it, but if my friend who does it regularly saw that one came up, so she messaged me and I grabbed it. So in the few days before the market, often they will have some single sites come up and you just have to book it really quick. Or you can just be like organized and book a stall like 2 months in advance, because you can book a stall for it. It's just that they book up about 2 months in advance. But I was lucky, I didn't have to wait to get a spare stall. I knew what number I was. I got there super early. I got there at like 5:45. I thought I was going to be able to leave my car on site, but that didn't happen, which caused me some stress, but it's okay. We got there in the end. Camperwell was pumping. It was so cool. It was busy the whole time. And looking at my book, it's actually about half. So I actually sold way more handmade products than I thought I was going to sell. And that's what really bumped my sales up, because, you know, selling little $18 mini mushrooms and 5 cards for $20 gets my sales up quicker than little $2 and $3 vintage vases will that I was selling for my pre-love stuff. So it's actually really good. Still overall low sales. The highest sale from one person I had was $27. So still not like humongous sales. But saying that, I didn't actually have big pottery pieces there. So I didn't have any of my big mushrooms or big vases. It was all of the small stuff. I was pleasantly surprised with my sales from Camberwell. I sold $470. It cost me $70 for a stall, so more expensive. And I hired a clothing rack for $15. And I didn't buy any food because I stayed at my mum's house, and she was like, make your lunch for tomorrow on the Saturday night. And I actually did. I actually made my food, so I didn't have to buy anything. Oh, I lie. I bought a coffee. I bought one coffee, and that was $6. So my sales minus the stall fee, minus the clothing hire, and minus one coffee comes to $379 profit. Again, I'm not including cost of materials or anything in here. We're not worrying about that. And I'm not including my time. But $379 is a much happier day out than a $72 profit. So I would definitely do Camperwell Market again, for sure. It was quite a lot. Like, you have to get there really early. It was pretty cold. Where I was hoping to do some work on my iPad, but I was on the very side. So behind my stall was a footpath, and when I hired the clothes rack in the morning, the lady actually said, just be careful because there can be a bit of theft here. So I was like, I don't really want to get my iPad out, and then it gets busy and I put it down and someone nabs it. So I didn't do any design work at all, but it was pretty consistently busy, so I really wouldn't have had a lot of opportunity to do that anyway. So I was again wrecked after this weekend. My neck was so sore. My body just doesn't do well with 2 days of markets, and my car, because Camberwell, you have to pack up by 1 o'clock and it finishes at 12:30, which means there's only half an hour to pack up. Some people start packing up before, like the guy next to me, he started packing up at 11:30. There were so many people around still though. I hate packing up when there's still people buying stuff. Like, people were buying stuff as I was packing up. But it was super stressful because I had to rush, and I just had so much stuff still. It took me way more than half an hour. So if I do it again, I will start packing up at 12 and probably start packing up my handmade stuff first, because the people, they were buying at the end more just the pre-loved stuff than the handmade stuff. I think I do it that way. But it was really fun. I'm so glad to do Camperwell, and I think I want to actually book in, thinking a couple of months in advance. I'm going to look at my calendar, see what months I don't have a lot of things in, and then maybe I book in a Camperwell then, and just, yeah, take both again. I think I'd take handmade and my pre-loved. Or if I didn't want to have to move my car off site, because I had so many tables, I had to move my car off site. If I wanted to just keep my car there and just have one trestle table that way instead of the 2 long ways, maybe I'd just do pre-loved, or maybe handmade with some bigger stuff. Maybe I need to do it twice and just do pre-loved one week and just do handmade the other week. Anyway, that will be another vlog for the channel. And next week I am booked in for the Berwick Market at the Akuna Park. Berwick Akuna Park Market on Sunday. So that will be the next market vlog on the channel. Thanks for watching. It was so great to see one of my subscribers at the Camperwell Market, Georgina, and it was so great to chat to you, Georgina. If any of you do see me at any markets, please come and say hi. I love it. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time.